Yeah, yeah, no worries. Oh, yep, and the tens. I have a 10 also. Yeah, mine won't play today. He's the other goalie. Well, he'll play the second game. Nope, I do it, and then the tens we have we have a guy who does all this part. Tens broadcast is a little bit more in depth because he'll do like the clock, penalties, like everything. He'll do. We get replays, but I miss him half the time. So Good afternoon, Swirly Nation, and welcome to Rochester, New York, for today's game between the Rochester Junior American and your Pittsburgh Penguins Elite. We're bringing you two games here, pretty close back-to-back from Rochester, New York. A 12:15 tilt and a 3:30 matchup. So please join us for both. Looks like I got 6 of you out there now, and keep racking up those subscriptions. Your starting lineup for the first game, brought to you by the training table at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex, Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. Practice home of the Pittsburgh Penguins and home of your Pittsburgh Penguins Elite. Go see the folks at the training table for all your nutritional needs while you're at the rink. In net for the Penguin, Sammy Brushett. On defense, number 5, Dino Foligno. And number 88, Danny Foster. Up front, the right wing, 97, Vegas Golden Nathan Goldberg. The left wing, number 2, Enzo Vickers. And at center, number 22, Landon Blue. Rochester with the puck in the Penguins' end, left-hand side in the corner. A behind-the-back pass. Popped further into the corner and carried in behind. Bloom will cut it off and work it around for Foligno. Dino rims it back to the point man. That centering pass cut off by Goldberg and sent back the other way. Pollard with the centering pass as Foster drives into the offensive zone and he shoots low short side and he finds the back of the net. A twisted wrister off the stick of 88 Danny Foster gives the Penguin a 1-0 advantage. I missed that replay, folks. Sorry, I'm trying to get a couple things up and running here on the computer. But it looks like we have a really good live stream here today. As Rochester drives into the offensive zone, fires one from the top of the circle. That's caught and held by the Penguin netminder, Brushett. And it looks like in the process, we've got a penalty coming on 61 Lore. He'll spend a minute and a half in the sin bin for this one. Minute and a half penalties, as we've talked about most of the season. Face off in the Penguin zone to the left of Brushett. I don't think the pegs are on the net here. The net's moving quite a bit. As they spin into the middle and pop it in. No goal, no goal. We don't know. It'll be a face-off. They're calling it, well, the net's off. I don't think the pegs are in. That net moving around quite a bit. So the Penguins penalty kill will continue. Minute 15 left on that PK. All right, so apparently no pegs here in New York. So the nets will be a floating adventure for the game, I guess. It'll be Dixon clearing it around and exiting the Penguin zone, chasing it down Garofalo for Rochester, but it's too far and it'll be an icing on the Pens lead. Leading into the face-off dot will be Schweitzer. Flanked by Foster and Foligno with Baru. Schweitzer wins the puck back to Foligno. He'll carry it behind his own net. Banking it off the boards, looking for a streaking Baru, but it's cut off nicely at the point by Pollock for Rochester. Worked further into the corner where it's possessed, and they'll spin out there. Trying to center it is Garshin, who's able to do so and find an open Junior American to tie the game at 1. It'll be Vickers stepping in to take the face-off for the Pens. A 1-1 game here. Fired into the Rochester zone. Picked up behind the net. Working with it deep is Goldberg. Able to work it to Luarchuk. It's knocked off his stick, and back come the Junior American. Sember through center. Backing in with an odd side play. Dixon able to pick it up and come back the other way. And the Penguins will have a 3-on-2 as Dixon, Goldberg, and Luarchuk storm into the Rochester zone. A good back check there by Rochester's Garshin. Breaks up the play as the Penguins fire it to the right-hand corner. Bit of deception there by Goldberg. Fake one-way, rim it around the opposite. Kept at the point by Dixon. His shot from outside kicked away by the Rochester goaltender. Carried around behind and blazing out of the Rochester zone with a breakout pass come the Junior American. Vickers on the back check. Stember able to pick it up and work it further, but he's cut in front of by Luarchuk, and back he comes. Over the blue line, dumping it in the left-hand corner. Rims all the way around to the right, where Rochester will begin a breakout. That's cut off by Baru, who tries to slap it back in, looking for Lore. They'll find him on the second attempt as it's back to Baru and centered into the middle for Bowen before it's counterattacked and brought back out to center by Garofalo. Driving into the right-hand corner. Tipped off of his stick, picked up by Baru. Baru will drive right into the defense core there. Van Thoth and the Junior Americans will try to regroup. Regaining the Penguins' end. Cut off nicely by the Penguins' defense. That's Foster carrying through center into the Rochester zone. Wrapping around behind and tucking it in the net is Danny Foster. If we can get you that replay, folks, we will. Danny Foster driving the right-hand side, wrapping around behind, able to tuck it in the opposite post and make it a 2-1 game. Danny Foster on fire so far today. Rochester busts into the Pens end. And there's a rebound kept out by Brushin. Back to the point, going D to D. Firing one from outside. Brushin gets the body to it and is able to gobble the puck up. So right off the draw there, a 2-on-1 for Rochester. And 2 excellent scoring chances for the Junior Americans trying to tie this one up. Penguin. Rochester on all as it's possessed by Rochester into the corner, pulling it back. We're going to call him Carson, because last name's really long. And it'll be popped in behind where Zachi plays it forward to Bloom. Unable to exit the zone towards Luarchuk. And back come the Junior Americans. It's Carson with the puck on the half wall. Back to the Kopar at the point, who tries for the quarter, second chance, skips in just wide of the cage. Get back to the point. Rochester controlling play here, and a deflection in front, skips between the wickets of Brushit, and makes it 2-2. Couple chances from out top for Rochester in that last one. able to get through a couple of bodies and deflect in a 5-hole of Russians. Getting here early first period. There's still 7 minutes left in the. Popped into the corner by the Junior American. Polino overtaken as he spins out of the corner and sends one in on net. Garshin shot stopped and carried out by Schweitzer. Schweitzer, Foster. Foster banks it around one, banks it around two, and he'll gain the offensive zone again on the rush. Tries to cut back to the middle. He's able to find an open Baru on the opposite side. His shot sent in, and he turned back out. A bit of a fan on that one. And back come the Junior Americans around Schweitzer, carrying to the corner. Tripped up on the play by Foligno, and the Pens will head back to the penalty kill here. A tripping ball coming up on 5 for the Penguins as the Junior Americans were buzzing down the left-hand side. E-zone draw here for Pittsburgh on the penalty kill. Penalty killers will be Bloom with Dixon and Foster. Out to the point. They've done damage from the point already in this one. This time, Foster able to clear it up for Goldberg, and it's a potential 2-on-2 as he's got Bloom streaking down the side. Goes around one, cuts back to the middle. He's defended off very nicely by Pollock right there. And sent back out, sorry, Pollard, and back out to neutral ice, where Goldberg will get control. He drives in, shot from the right-hand side, able to be gloved and held this time. A short-handed chance for the Pens. 1:01 left on the penalty, 5:53 in the first period. In is Vic. Pressuring the puck, Luarch. Nice scoop there by Zachi. At the Rochester blue line, breaks out the attempted break-in, and now it'll be Dixon. Off the boards, past the stick of Luarchuk, and it's far enough for icing. Puck will come the whole way back into the Penguins' end. 8 rush. What a setup here in Rochester. It's got a boost and shot in from the point. Russian unable to control the rebound, and it's tapped past him. And Rochester will take their first lead in the game on the power play. A shot from outside. The Russia gets the initial. He was unable to track the rebound, couldn't get the mitt on it, and it's tapped behind him for 3-2 Junior American lead. Rochester. Up and off the stick of Lore. Picked up by Schweitzer. He tries to tap it to the defense, but that's picked off. In drives the Junior Americans. Cutting in front. Luarchuk is able to clear it to the corner where it's picked up by Lore. He'll move it out of the offensive zone into neutral ice. Off the stick of Schweitzer to Bowen. But the Penguins enter. Face off. One back by the Junior American. Tap it forward where it's picked up by Foster. Into the offensive zone. Around one. Cutting back to the middle. Shooting short side, and that's blocker side this time where it is stopped and then covered. Ends with a territorial advantage to Rochester. Here through the About 8 minutes of action. Penguins with a chance here as Lewarchuk comes off the wall, cuts to the middle. He stays with it. He's able to break up the entry attempt by the Junior Americans. Zachi fans on the first breakout pass as it popped around for Dixon, who's able to clear it up just past the stick of Lewarchuk. And it's picked up by Rochester's Ruffalo in his own end. He goes with a great indirect pass off the boards, and in come the Junior Americans 3-on-2. Back checking Bloom to make it 3-on-3. Burchett makes the first save, and Dixon's able to clear the rebound. And Lewarchuk will hit Goldberg. Goldberg in over the line. He'll wind and fire. He's got an absolute missile. That shot coming from the point into the paraphernalia of the Rochester network. Off Rochester zone. Right corner. Schweitzer back to Foligno. Foligno. Shot blocked. It trickles over to Baru, who spins one around looking for Schweitzer backside. That's cut off nicely by the defense of the Junior American. They try to clear, but Foster keeps it in. Plays it back to the corner to Baru. Baru will chase it down, stopping and starting, possessing the puck. He's got Schweitzer and finds it. A little give and go, perhaps. Schweitzer tries to go back to the point, but it's picked off immediately and sent back out by Rochester. It's Schweitzer behind the net. Puck knocked off of his stick, gathered in by Foster. His pass to the point was picked off, and that shot came in off the stick of Foligno and off the Penguins' post. Driving off the wall, firing one. Rochester here. All Rochester as a rebound pops off of Brush it. It's cleared but not out. Another shot in from the point, and this one handled by the Penguin goaltender. Rochester carrying the possession play so far. Pretty sure we have Alexa Bloom and the Shaha U12 team currently not far away over towards Buffalo area. And I believe Alexa with the HT this morning for Shaha's U12 team. So welcome to the broadcast, Shaha U12, and congratulations to Alexa Bloom, whose brother, Landon, the center for this 2011 team. Speaking of, he's got the puck as he drives into the offensive zone. Feeds it off to the side. That shot skips wide of the cage by Lohr and right to the stick of a Rochester defender. Penguins pressure the puck there. Able to keep it in at least temporarily as Dixon will battle for it. He tries for Lohr, but it's picked up nicely and carried back out by Garofalo, who winds into the Penguins and feeds one across backside, and it's into the high slot for a shot from Carson. Gobbled up by Shit. Spins it to Foster. Foster spins out of trouble and drives into the neutral zone. Tries to cut to the outside. He's on sides as he drives the right-hand corner. Stay with it. Maroon will follow on. And now Bowen. Rochester reverses to the opposite side. Try to run the breakout there. Bowen reacts, gets over. Lino has it in center. Tries to regain the Rochester zone. Penguins caught up a bit on the wall. And back come the Junior Americans driving through center. Shooting one that skips just over the blocker's side. Picked up by Foligno, banked off the boards. 3-2 Rochester, as you can see on your scoreboard. Foster with both Penguin goals. Back to the point, kicked into the Penguins end and controlled again by the Junior Americans as he tried to center one. Centering pass cut off by Foster. He'll bank it off the boards, trying for Bowen. That's kept there by Topar. In comes Sember, who centers one, and the shot sent just wide of the cage. Rochester right back to it. Another centering pass comes back to the point. Works down low. Good puck movement here by the American. Shot in off of Foligno. He'll try to exit the zone, but he's cut off right away. Kept in by Rochester. Puck in off of Foster. Banked off the boards, back out the center. No icing, as the referee rules that Topar could have played it. And Pollard will start the breakout for the Junior Americans. Off one stick, right to Sember. He's cut off by Dixon, followed on by Zachi. Dumped back into the Junior American zone, where Lowarchuk will forecheck. And now Bloom. You hear the horn, and that'll indicate the conclusion of the first period. Bring you back here to Rochester, New York, and give you a replay of that recent Foster goal on the wraparound. We'll run the feed of player pictures for you as we get started here in period number 2. 12-minute periods here in Rochester as Foster drives into the offensive zone. Take a look in the upper corner, find your favorite Penguin as Lowarchuk pops it back into the Rochester zone. Ruffalo tries to go D to D. That's cut off by Goldberg, but he's unable to get possession. Vickers at the blue line. It'll be played back out the center for Foster. Foster sends it all the way back into the corner where the Penguins will forecheck. Vickers in after. Pops free right into the middle, and the Pens unable to get control. Vickers and Lowarchuk there. Good puck pressure, forcing that turnover for Pittsburgh. As down falls the defenseman, they tried to play it back to him, but right back after it, the Junior Americans. Who are trying to get out of their zone, and they will. Banking it off the boards, picking it up. There's Vickers. He'll send it in. Lowarchuk to Foster. Foster right up to Schweitzer, and the Penguins are out of their end. It's Baru at center. It's a 3-on-2 if he sees it. He's got Schweitzer to the outside. A great back check there by, I think, Beto. Breaks up the Penguin chance, but now it's Dixon flying through center into the offensive zone. Cuts to the outside, sends it into the middle, and it's deflected wide by the Rochester defense. Back in front, it's Dixon with an absolute missile that misses the cage to the right. Rochester trying to get it back out through center. Schweitzer in after the puck. Penguins flipping the ice a bit here in period number 2 as Dixon gets it and rims it around. Still 3-2 Rochester. Penguins try to work it out to the point. That's picked off and brought on by Carson. Driving to the right-hand side, pressured immediately by Baru. As it's carried into the corner, Dixon will get there, and the arm goes up, and we're going to get another Penguin penalty here. It'll be a body check call. This one on Dixon. And now we're going to get a bench minor on the Penguins. Pens will go 5-on-3 here. A bench minor, that's a tough call. He's asking him why he get the penalty when the player had possession of the puck. And now the Penguins will be 5-on-3. That's some difficult officiating here. A bit of a questionable call to begin with is Dixon cut in front of the player, had the puck. They call the body check. Coach is questioning the call, getting a bench minor. And we'll play some 5-on-3 action here. Face off one and pop forward. Vickers will drive in. 1-on-1, loses control and sent back the other way, and Rochester will try to set up a power play here. Right-hand side, driving into the offensive zone. Cleared back to the point. Vickers after it, Foligno after it. Puck bouncing around and sent wide to brush it. Back to the point. Shot comes in, blocked by Foligno. Pollard there. He fans on it. And flying out through center. On a break is Dino Foligno. Into the offensive zone. He'll shoot one. Rebound there. Vickers tapping at it. And a 5-on-3 scoring chance shorthanded for the Pens. 52 seconds left on the 5-on-3 penalty kill. Up by Rochester and brought on. Trying to go between the legs of Foster. Foster turns it back the other way, all the way out of the zone, and Bloom will pressure. Then back to the blue line, and in comes Rochester. Around Foster and in behind the net, wrapping it around. Pops all the way back to the point, kept in there. Then back to the middle. Bloom will end up with it, and the Penguins clear. 22 seconds left on a 5-on-3 as Bloom goes around one. Penguins with another potential scoring chance as he skips one just wide of the cage. Zachy will get there and pop it back in behind. About 10 seconds left on this 5-on-3 penalty kill. This would be gigantic for the Penguins as Foster picks it off. Winds into the offensive zone. Cuts back to the middle. I think the Penguins have had to puck more than Rochester as both players are now onto the ice for the Pens. It's Luarchuk getting there. He'll take possession. Dangle around one, loses it at the blue line. Pollard follows on for Rochester. Poked by Bloom. And now Foster gets control. Penguins with an extra defenseman on the ice as Dixon had just come on. It's dumped in and it'll be an icing. Face off to the right of Brichet. Won by Schweitzer into the corner. Rochester attacking immediately. Their breakout pass picked off by Lord. He sends it through center to Baru. Baru taps it in behind the defense and will give chase. Nice play into the corner where it's nudged forward for Lore. Lore twisting, turning, looking for Schweitzer. He'll try the opposite side, all the way back to Zachy at the point. He'll wind and fire, skipping one in on net. And it's into the breadbasket and held. Leans it. Rochester will pop it all the way back into the Penguins' end for Dixon. Banks it off the boards, trying to rim it around. It's cut off by Rochester. Centering pass blocked by the Pen. Back to the corner. Foligno will pressure. His centering pass off the stick of Blue. Back comes Lorchuk. Banks it off the boards around Garoppolo. Further into the corner by Bloom and chased down by Dixon. Vickers will hunt the puck on the half wall. Collision at center. With Foster, and back come Rochester in on Foligno, winding into the zone. Firing, and it's stopped and covered by Burchett. Back to the point, shot in, stopped by Burchett, rebound, sits free, battled for and sent wide to the cage and cleared to the corner by Dix. Up to Bowen, but Bowen unable to clear the zone. It'll be Zachi in the corner. Schweitzer will follow on, centering feed off the stick of Burchett. And cleared, it's Bowen to Schweitzer, Schweitzer to the neutral zone for Bowen. Followed on by Dixon. Skate to stick. Over to Bowen. Bowen tries to throw one to the middle. That's cut off and carried behind by Rochester. Backed off the boards. Looking for, I think that's Paulus. Picked up and carried behind by Toper. And sent all the way to the Pens end where Zachi will turn with it and find Lohr. Lohr up into the offensive zone. Carrying to the outside. Cut off and tries to work it back to the point where it's immediately intercepted and sent back out center all the way to the Penguin zone for Foligno. Schweitzer tries to dump it in. Cut off and back come the junior Americans driving into the Penguin zone. Defended by Zachi. They'll wrap it in behind the cage. Point man's open if they need it and they find him. That's Pollard. His shot deflects once and twice on the way in, and Brushin able to cover and hold that one with 4:38 to play in the second. So the Penguins had the momentum early, and then body checking call on Dixon and a bench minor stopped a little bit of that, but the Penguins killed that 5-on-3, had quite a few chances of their own on it. Since then, it seems like Rochester's gotten their had a bit of a back and forth affair. As cutting to the middle and lasering one past Burchett off the draw. And Rochester extends the fourth. Off the faceoff, jumping right on the puck and cutting into the teeth of the defense. Thanks everybody for joining. Make sure if you're not already that you subscribe below. Hit the subscribe button. Follow us here on Cinnamon's World TV at Cine on the Twitter. Puck in the middle, and Lorchuk unable to pull the trigger. Gets it back to Foster at the point. His slap shot skips wide of the net. Just by a bit. Foligno keeps it at the point, puts it back into the corner where Lorchuk will give chase, but it's rimmed just past the stick of Goldberg on the opposite side. Foster gets there, finds Goldberg. He'll wind and fire from well outside, and the rebound drops free, but it is stopped and covered. Schweitzer lead. Flanked by Lore, Peru, Sachi, Dixon on the line for the Pens. Pens without Kubnik for the weekend. Puck back to Zachi. He falls on the play, and back come the Junior Americans. It's a 3-on-1. Dixon back to defend, back checking multiple Penguins. Shot comes in off of Dixon into the boards behind the cage, and it's picked up by Schweitzer. He cuts to the middle, banks it off the boards, looking for Dixon. He's unable to clear the zone as the Americans regain the Penguins' end. Right to the outside, and a beautiful kick save by Brushett. Another play into the middle by Rochester, defended off and cleared by the Pens. It'll be Zachi. Zachi way up ice, leading the rush here for the Penguins defense. Able to gain the zone. And a battle will happen just inside the blue line. Schweitzer will dig that out of there. 2 players down as Rochester will pop back up and get to the puck and rim it around to reverse the breakout to the opposite side. Vickers will hunt after that, but a nice outlet feed there by Rochester. Schweitzer will pressure at center, feeding it back to the defenseman Dixon, banking it off the boards back to center off Vickers' stick. Played back in to the Penguin zone, but we will have an offside play. 44 to play, second period. Pens trail Rochester 4-2. Here from the Rochester Ice Center, home of the Rochester Junior Americans. Rochester today in blue, with the Junior Americans logo on the chest. Blue pants, blue socks, red and white striping throughout, and blue buckets. Your Penguins, the reverse retro whites. White jerseys with Pittsburgh across the chest. The black pants, the white socks, the black and gold striping, and the iconic gold. Pens the lead helmets. This is Goldberg, offensive zone, feeding one across, 3-on-1, and it just pops over the stick of Vickers. It's carried back out by Rochester, and they'll have their 3-on-2. That's defended by Foligno as he forces it into the corner. Centering feed, tips off of a stick and just wide of the Penguins' net. I think Brushett might have gotten a stick or pad on it. It'll be Goldberg now as we go back and forth. A track meet has broken out here. Goldberg into the corner, drives to the middle, tries to tap it short side. It's off the side of the cage. Brought back on by Rochester. Cut off by Bloom. Can the Penguins get some possession here? Bloom into the corner, centering one. Skips just under the stick of Goldberg as he was lifting the defender's stick, and brought back on by Rochester into the Penguins' end. Cut off there. Great back pressure from Vickers. Frees it up for Foster at center. We play you take it, no you take it at center, and ultimately it'll be Foster doing just that. He rims it forward. Pollard there for Rochester, driving into the Penguin zone, firing a shot, but it will be an offside play. Penguin will fire it right back out all the way into the Rochester zone. Hunting the puck there, Baruch. Cleared nicely by Rochester. Sachi gets control. He plays it back to his partner, Dixon. Dixon finds Bowen. Bowen able to play it further for Baruch. He gets control, wraps around behind, finds Bowen in front, and it's tapped just wide. What a dandy of a feed there by Grayson Baruch. He's still on the puck. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's Lore. Lore battling on the half wall. Pops it further into the corner. Back up and out of the zone by Rochester. And may pop free here. Stachy able to angle properly and get control. Spin it back up the other way, but it'll be an icing on. Penguins 5.9. Goodness. Face-off will come to the right of Burchett. False draw there as
Rochester with players move. They should move center here. Battle will happen on the wall and up for Goldberg. Firing one out the center. Off the skate of Luarchuk, pops free into the offensive zone. He'll chase it down. Tries to cut back to the middle, and he's cut off immediately, and back come the junior American. Into the Penguin zone. Foligno with a nice poke check. Luarchuk to the puck. Cleared up and off the Rochester bench as the horn sounds, and we'll head back. We'll head to period number 3 here in Rochester. Welcome back to Rochester for the 3rd period. It's 4-2, Rochester lead. Get that out of the way for you guys. To the Penguins with a bit of work to do here in Rochester. Rochester's Sember takes the puck at the blue line, drives in. It's battled for and defended nicely by Dixon, who finds Luarchuk. He sends it all the way up looking for Goldberg. He can't get control at first, but he will the second time. And he'll peel off the sidewall and fire one from out top again. That's the 3rd or 4th chance Goldberg's had from high in the zone. And they're going to put 15 minutes on the clock for this period. A little bit of extra time here. Remember, subscribe below. Cinnamon's be here, bringing you the Penguins and the Rochester Junior American. Up come the Junior Americans. The neutral into the Penguins end where Foligno picks it up and carries around behind his own net. Break out off of the wall to Baru. Pops back out to center, but brought on by Foster through the neutrals. Into the Rochester. Tearing around to the outside with speed. Wrapping it around. Puck sits in front. Bowen tapping at it. He's knocked down in front of the cage. No call there as the Rochester Junior Americans are able to clear the zone and carry it all the way into the Penguins end where Schweitzer tracked the puck down. Into the corner for Foligno. He's pressured immediately, and Rochester comes away with it on a centering feed there by Beto. Schweitzer to Bowen. Bowen tries to gain the Rochester zone, but he's turned back the other direction. Schweitzer will pressure the puck, win it, get it back to Foster. Foster to Bowen. Bowen up the left-hand side. Carries into the offensive zone. Challenges the Rochester defender, keeps with it, and it pops free for Schweitzer, whose shot is stopped on the backside. A centering feed to Bowen, who blisters it into the cage on the backside. We'll get that one on replay for you. Toss some fries on your sandwich. Pittsburgh style, that's a Penguins. Puck pressure from Bowen and Schweitzer. Ultimately, Schweitzer shot able to get all the way over to Bowen in front, who's able to wrist it past the Rochester goaltender and make it 4-3. And it looks like the Penguins will have their first power play. So after 5 penalties against, the Penguins will get a shot with the man advantage here. the Penguin power play. It'll be Bloom, Lowarchuk, and Vickers up front. Foster and Dixon on the point. Zachi and Dixon on the point. It's kept in by Vickers. He tries to send it all the way across to Bloom. It's cleared back out by Rochester. Icing if it's far enough. And that 9-iron doesn't have quite enough spin to hold up. It'll skip over the line. And we'll get an icing call. 12:33 to play, third period. 4-3. Rochester Penguins with power play. 15 left on that power play. In. Vickers back to the point for Zachi. He'll walk in, looking, finds Vickers. He tries to center one. He'll stay with the puck. It'll be Dixon getting to it. Dixon switching sides there. Centers one all the way across. Archuk was covering the point. He'll skate down into it. His centering feed comes off of a boot. The half wall. There's Bloom pressuring. Blowing the play up, keeping it at the point is Dixon, driving it in all the way to the cage. It goes where it is covered. Benz will get a line change here. Owen. With Waiter. And Foster. Had to do. He played that time. No, it's Brandon Schweitzer. He risks one, and it's a beautiful glove hand save. Feed up. Bowen. Management. Power play. One of game for the Pens. As Foster feeds it back to Bowen. Half. Foster spinning off there. Schweitzer. Schweitzer feeds it backside looking for Lore. Lore to Schweitzer. Schweitzer driving wide, sending a backhander, and it's just past the stick of Bowen. He was looking for another tap. Off Schweitzer feeds. And back comes Rochester, but kept in by the long reach of Foligno. Rochester with the puck. Great job there, body position, to sense where the pressure was coming from and spin the other direction. Penguins able to keep getting sticks on it. Power play over. And we're back to full strength. As Rochester pops it in behind the Penguins. Net Foligno goes. Penguins with a couple scoring chances. Schweitzer and Bowen teaming up. Battles it. Center back in front, just past the stick of Foster, but right to Bowen. Bowen tries to exit the zone. It's kept in nicely by Rochester and sent back into the. Foster will rim it around to the opposite corner. Nobody home on that side. Rochester will keep it in. A centering feed is cut off by Foster and brought back out to center. Foster into the offensive end. He tried. He was turned back. Send it D into the Penguins end for Dixon. Find Bloom driving into the offensive zone, followed on by Lowarchuk. He'll stop and start. Can he find the high slot? It's knocked off of his stick and cleared out the center. Dixon gets to it. 10 minutes left here in the 4-3. Rochester leads as Dixon carries down. Left-hand side, carrying around behind. Stopping. But it's cleared by Rochester, and it'll be Zachi and Lowarchuk back on defense. Zachi. A nice poke check there. Lowarchuk, a heck of a backwards skater. Nice job there by the Penguins. And whistle as the net is off because they don't put the pegs in. As the goalie slid over. Puck rimmed around. Zachi possessing centers one for Rochester. It sends it to the line. Banked off the boards but not cleared as Baru tried to get it out. Lure follows on. Schweitzer again. Schweitzer, or Rochester drives the left-hand side, but we're in just over, you know.
Pop back into the Penguins' end for Foster.
Foster rims it around just past the stick of Lure. Then back in on Foligno. Turned back by Lure, banked off the boards out the center. Rochester with a bit of puck possession here since the Penguins' power play expired. Foligno will get it. He slaps it in. Penguins get a 2-on-1. It's Schweitzer driving in, looking for Baru. Can't pull it around the defender. And back comes Rochester through center. Carrying with speed to the right. Firing back in front of Bichette. And back to the point. Banking one. It bounces free out to center. Baru unable to get control. Now it's Schweitzer. Carrying into the offensive zone. Popping it around behind. Out to Dixon at the point. Bloom. Centering one. Vickers. Falling to the ice. Unable to get it through. The puck is loose in front. Battled for and cleared by Rochester. Out to the point and just past Dixon. It'll be Zachi. Spinning with it. Trying to carry through center. He's cut off, but Vickers will follow on in support. Driving and carrying it into the offensive zone. Cutting from left to right. He'll free up. He'll shoot one that's off the blocker or off the stick up into the air and cleared by Rochester. And it's whacked all the way down for an icing. 7:30 to play. Penguins with a couple good chances there. Trying to tie this one up. Zone draw, it'll be Baru. On, it's 1:08, but it might be 5 o'clock somewhere. What do you say, Grayson? Back to the Rochester defense. They'll go D to D. Rochester carries it back in. Shooting one. Brush it. Fights it off with the glove. Rebound. Sits in front, and it'll be covered up by Brush it. Big save there for the Pens. Drew on the draw. That back to Ruffalo for Rochester. His shot blocked out front and turned back by Foster. It'll be Bowen carrying it up the left. Into the Rochester zone. It's Lure getting to it, forcing it further, but countered right away by Rochester and sent back out the center. Rochester on side of the blue line, sending one in. Rush it'll pop it into the corner. Popped off. Sent all the way back into the Rochester zone. Not enough for icing. The Rochester will have to come 200 feet there. Around one, it'll be a 3-on-2. Zachi with a long reach, able to come up with the puck. Fires it across ice for Bowen. Off of his stick into the Rochester half wall. He'll peel off the wall. Send one glove side. Rebound out front, but it's dived on and held by the goaltender. 6:20 to play. It's Vickers on the draw. Penguins keep it in. Dixon sends one. Nice save there. Sent back in front by Vickers. A whistle. And again, no pegs coming into play here. New York rule, they can't put pegs in until you're 35 years old. So It'll be Vickers back to Dixon. Dixon firing one, deflects in front. Rebound pops right into the back of the net. It's Enzo Vickers. Shaking, bacon, magic, making, tying the game at 4. Look at that fancy little graphic I found. Some good stuff. Do this one too. Woo, lots of graphics there for you. Enzo Vickers whacking at a rebound, able to pop it up over the shoulder. Left hand side, and 6 minutes left. We got a tie game here in Rochester. An exciting one. A bit of back and forth hockey. Bowen banking it off the boards for Schweitzer. Into the corner. Carried behind by Rochester. They'll bank it off of a teammate, unable to clear, but a second attempt will get it out to center. Rochester looking to gain the Penguins. Right side, sending one in on Burchett, who's able to get the stick and then the chest in front of that one, gobbling it up for a whistle. 5:21 to play, third period. 4-4 tie here. Rochester, New York. A nice drive yesterday. It was at nighttime, so you really couldn't see much. For us, anyway. I know a couple people came up this morning. Pens will play tomorrow in Buffalo against the Regals. As Bloom gets possession, fires it out to center, and Vickers almost with a dandy of a backhand pass looking for Lewarchuk, but it's cut off, and right back comes Rochester. So from one opportunity at one side to another and the other, as it's whacked up by the Penguins defense, sent all the way down, and it is an icing call. 4:51 to play here in the third. Defensive zone draw. Battled for on the wall. And a shot sent in glove side and held. By Burchett. Second draw, about the same way. This time Foster wins it. Banks it off the boards for Lewarchuk. He dances at the blue line. Gains the red line and dumps it in. Vickers will hunt the puck. Rimmed around to the opposite side where they've got a waiting player to break it out. Nice breakout by the junior Americans. Cut off at center by Lewarchuk on a back check. Americans still gain the zone. Centering one. It's off Foster's stick. Picked up and dumped back into the corner by Rochester. Lewarchuk covering the point nicely, spinning it off the wall. Able to free it up for Bloom, who finds Vickers. Vickers goes off of Coach Ferrari. Speaking of coaches, your Penguins, coached by head coach Trevor Nelson, flanked by assistants Brian Bloom and Rob, don't call me Lamborghini Ferrari. Face all back in the Penguins' end. Again controlled by Rochester into the corner. The Penguins' goal. They've had a bit of the territorial advantage. Bowen trying to change that as he'll cut to the middle. Look at the mitts on that one as he sends it in on net. Sticks to the corner nicely by the goaltender. Picked up there by Lore. Centering feed in for Bowen. And it skips through the wickets of the Rochester goaltender. And sweet buttery crumpets. The Penguins have taken the lead. Finn Bowen with his second of the day. A second one right in front, working hard body position, stick freed up. Able to tap it through the 5-hole. And with 3:37 to play, it's 5-4 Penguinis. Lore with the puck. Back for Zachi. off of Bowen. He'll try to pop it back into the Rochester zone. Do so the first time, but now it's back out where Dixon will battle, and the Penguins will dump it all the way in behind. Picked up and rimmed around by Rochester. Pressured immediately by Luarchuk, but it's just over the line, so him entering the zone with the puck will create an offside play. Rochester winning the neutral zone draw. Luarchuk working hard back to the puck, cuts right in front, takes control. He'll find some space where he's pressured, but he stays on the puck, able to fire it up the half wall to Goldberg, who sends it off of the official at center. It'll end up back on his stick, though. This time, he'll wrist it all the way to the left-hand corner. Pressured by Bloom. Brought on by Rochester back out the center. Martian. Rochester carries back to the middle and sticked off his stick right to Garofalo. He's around one, around two, diving to the ice as the shot comes in, and it's held by a sprawling Brushett. .226 to play. Third period. Penguins have stormed back from a 2-goal deficit to take the lead as Rochester sends one skipping across Brushett's crease. Cut off by the Penguins defense. That's Schweitzer out to Baru. He'll spin it out the center. Penguins looking to gain the Rochester zone. Rochester with control. They bank it off the boards back to the Penguin end where Zachy will pick it up. Oh, it's off the heel of his stick, in behind, centered in front, all the way through Brushett, and carried around behind by Schweitzer. Under 2 minutes to play here. Puck rimmed off, back to the point. That shot in, and it's gloved by Sammy Brushett, flashing the leather and keeping it a 1-goal. Face-off controlled by Rochester. Keep an eye on the opposite net. Centering feed. Nice defensive play there. That's Bloom as it's popped back in by the junior Americans. Foligno to the puck. His head's up. He's pressured, but it comes free to Bloom. Spinning with it, and it's out the side. It's an offside play. Yes, it is. Minute 15. 5-4 Penguins face off to come at the neutral. Puck smacked forward by Blue. There you go. Blue. Clock issues here. The clock's now running. It wasn't running early. I don't know what's going on with the clock. So we got horns. We have... What's going on? What? Apparently the game's over. Somehow the game's over. The Penguins win 5-4. We'll do this again at 3:30. I have no idea what happened there. Apparently, they have a game clock. If the game's not done in a certain amount of time, they just blow the horn. That's very different. So that game will end 5-4 Pens. We'll be back here at 3:30 for the second game of the day. Join us then. Cinnamon Swirl TV.